Employability. Many people talk about it, but what is it? Everybody wants it, yet only about 1 out of every 3 new workers has it, and no more than 2 out of 3 veteran workers have it. The secondary school system believes that they are teaching it. Post-secondary educational institutions assume that their students come with it, yet employers are saying that most people do not have it. Where have we gone wrong? True, the schools teach employability topics, but just because the concepts are being taught does not mean that they are being learned or that they will be applied to the real-world situations. The post-secondary schools teach higher-level skills and concepts, yet most employers and the Conference Board of Canada concur that most graduates of post-secondary education are not work-ready. They are ready for their apprenticeship, where they will truly learn the concepts through application. Without experience, you cannot be competent. You must therefore supplement any education that you have with real-world experience. Then, and only then. There is no guarantee that even with experience, you will be a valuable employee. As many reputable organizations state, you need to learn by doing. Without work experience, there is no such thing as a competent graduate. Some educational programs require practicums in order to begin the process of applying concepts to the real world. Programs such as medicine, legal internships, student teaching, apprenticeship work in the trades are all examples of programs that see the value of practical experience. I once spoke to an engineer who graduated near the top of her class. I asked her if she added value to the company she was working for. The response shocked me. She said for the first 5 years she was not earning her keep. She was learning how to integrate theory into practice, something that she got very little of in university. Oh sure, integration of theory into practice is talked about, but it is not truly learned until you are solving problems where mistakes are extremely costly and could cost your reputation. You think about things differently when you make a decision that could cost someone their lives if wrong. The only way to become confident in making these types of decisions is by making them, hopefully with the support of others. Let's call these others subject matter experts. And then to see the results of your decision, not in theory, but in actuality. True, occupational competence takes many years of experience to obtain. But before we can gain this occupational experience, we need to have certain prerequisite skills and knowledge. Before you can ride a bike, you need to know how to walk. Before you can work in any occupation, you need to have the basic employability skills. Another analogy is that before you can do complex algebra, you need to know how to do basic arithmetic like addition and subtraction. Employability skills are the basics of every occupation. It doesn't matter how good you are on the specifics of your occupation. Without the employability skills, you will struggle and most likely fail. Like a building that is beautiful and extremely well built above the ground, but it was built on top of a very poor foundation. The smallest wind or ground tremor makes the building topple. The employability skills are the foundation of any occupation. The 5 general areas that every person needs to be competent in to be a successful employee, in fact, to be successful at life in general, are communication. People think that they are good communicators because they talk. The question is, when you talk, do others understand? Are they engaged? Are they interested in what you have to say? Do you speak in a way that others want to listen? People also think that because they hear sound, they are listening. Communication skills are the #1 problem in relationships today, be it at work or in your personal relationships. People do not know how to listen and are rarely taught how to listen. The assumption is that because you have ears, you will automatically be able to listen. The #1 leadership skill taught in virtually every leadership program is how to listen. Finally, we have writing or taking notes. This skill is dying but extremely necessary in the workplace, at meetings, filling in forms, or logbooks. Most notes are taken by hand prior to being transcribed into a computer. Interpersonal skills. We do not work alone. Even if you have your own business and are the sole proprietor, you are not alone. No business can operate without customers. Thus, we must interact with others. Most workplaces will require you to interact with other workers. You could be the best worker on the planet, but if you cannot get along with others, you will not have a job. Self-management. Before you can do a job for another person, you need to be able to work for yourself. You must be able to take care of your physical needs, your spiritual needs, your emotional and cognitive needs, and your social needs. If you stink because you haven't washed your clothes for several weeks, this will not only make you ill, but it will keep others away from you. The most important self-management skill in the workplace is safety. If you're not safe, you are a liability to your employer. Technical skills. You need some basic skills in using tools, lifting things properly, basic mathematics and finance skills, taking measurements, and having a basic sense of direction, such as north, south, east, west. Finally, in today's digital world, we need some basic technological skills. Computers are part of our lives, and because they are such effective tools, virtually every single workplace will use some kind of technology. Without the basic knowledge of how technology works, we are not hireable. It costs most employers double your annual wage to give you the site-specific work experience you need to be of value to the employer. Value to an employer is usually defined that they will pay you less than the revenue that you will generate. When an employer hires you, they are investing time, effort, and money into you, and thus they would like to have some kind of guarantee that you will soon be making them a profit as a result of your employment. The biggest asset you can bring into a company that will lower their risk in hiring you is to come with the employability skills. We asked many people in many professions what the most important subject in high school was for their success in their occupation. And if they could pick one thing that was the most important for them in their jobs, what would it be? The answers follow. As a machinist, mathematics is critical. On the job, there is nothing more important than paying attention to detail.
English was my most important course in high school, and the ability to communicate is the most important skill in teaching.
The most important high school subject was English. The most important ability for a nanny is to listen.
The most important high school subject is English, and the ability to make decisions and be assertive, kind, and compassionate are critical managerial characteristics.
The most important high school subject was biology. Problem solving is a critical skill for a veterinarian.
Social studies was important for my career choice. Speaking skills are critical for success as a politician.
Physics and art are the two most important high school subjects, and the ability to be creative and translate those ideas to paper are important for architects.
Physics and science were my most important high school courses for being an electrician, and paying attention to detail is the most important criteria.
Health and biology were important high school subjects. The ability to listen is critical for nurses.
Mathematics and especially geometry are important, and attention and concentration skills are essential for heavy equipment operators.
Believe it or not, mathematics is the most important high school subject, and paying attention to detail is critical in the computer programming field.
As we can see by these interviews, the most important part of virtually any occupation is not the technical skills, but some variant of the other employability skills. It's almost as if the technical side are the skills themselves, but it is the interaction with people and how you present yourself which will make the difference between someone in an occupation or job and someone who is respected as being a good performer, dependable, and competent. As we have already seen, competence is made up of three components: knowledge, where academic education has a great impact; skill, where training comes into play; and confidence, where experience is paramount. The problem that most people have is that they focus on one or two of the components, ignoring or minimizing the others. I have taught thousands of people on competency development and management. Without exception, the employability skills have always come up as critical as defining competence in any job or occupation. This program is meant to help you gain, or if you already have them, to recognize these skills. You'll become more promotable, more hireable, and just a more desirable human being.